Get ready to uncover the ultra-rare treasures hiding in your change. These 5 new pence and 5 pence coins are worth hundreds, even hundreds of thousands of pounds. You won't believe the shocking values and rich history behind these forgotten gems. Watch to the end, your fortune could be waiting. Section 1. Background, the birth of the 5 new pence. Before we get into the rare era that made this coin so legendary, let's take a quick trip back in time. In the late 1960s, the United Kingdom was preparing for one of the biggest changes in its financial history, the shift from the traditional pounds, shillings, and pence system to a fully decimalized currency. In 1968, the 5 new pence coin was introduced as a precursor to decimalization, officially replacing the 1 shilling coin but maintaining the same size and weight. The idea was to make the transition smooth, familiar, and practical for the public. Fast forward to 1970, this was a transition year, and an unusual one. That year, the Royal Mint did not release any 5 new pence coins into general circulation. Instead, a limited number was struck as part of special proof sets for collectors. Section 2. The Mysterious Era Coins. Now let's talk about the star of the show, the 1970 Elizabeth II era 5 new pence coin. While standard proof versions were made for collector sets, a tiny number of coins slipped through the cracks with critical minting errors. These are now considered some of the rarest British coins ever created. Some of the known or speculated error types include small blue diamond double-struck coins, where the coin was struck twice, creating a blurry or ghosted effect. Small blue diamond off-center strikes, where the design is shifted, missing part of the text or queen's portrait. Small blue diamond clip planchets, where part of the metal blank is missing, resulting in a bite-shaped edge. Small blue diamond wrong planchette errors, where a coin was accidentally struck on a blank meant for another denomination or even another country's coinage. Money bag, Section 3, Value, why this coin can fetch up to $103,000. Now to the question everyone's been waiting for. How much is the 1975 new pence era coin worth? While standard proof coins from 1970 might fetch $20 to $100, the era coins are in an entirely different league. If you happen to come across one of these rare era coins in excellent condition, collectors and auction houses have valued them anywhere between $53,000 for lightly circulated or mildly flawed errors, $81,000 for confirmed error strikes with visible double minting or off-center design. And in some private sales and elite numismatic auctions, they've gone as high as $103,000 for pristine, uncirculated, or multi-error specimens. High-stakes treasure hunt. Section 4. How to identify a genuine 1970 era coin. Alright, now that we know what it is and why it's valuable, how do you spot one? Here's your 5-point checklist to help identify a potential jackpot. 1. White heavy check mark. Check the date, it must say 1970 on the obverse, below Queen Elizabeth II's portrait. 2. White heavy check mark. Examine the edges, look for clipping, warping, or inconsistencies in the milling. 3. White heavy check mark. Inspect for design errors, look for ghost images, double strike, off-center text, or distorted portraits. 1. White heavy check mark. Weigh the coin. A genuine 5 new pence from 1970 should weigh 5.65 grams. If it's heavier or lighter, it might be a wrong planchette error. 2. White heavy check mark. Seek professional grading. If you believe you found something rare, do not clean it. Submit it to a certified grading service like NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, or PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, for authentication. Section 5. Why this coin is important to history and collectors. This coin isn't just about the money, although that part is pretty incredible. It represents a snapshot in time, the final days of Britain's old currency system and the dawn of a new financial era. It's Queen Elizabeth II's early reign, a transitional moment, and a symbol of change. That's why collectors are so emotionally drawn to it. Combine that rich history with a minting era, and you've got the perfect storm of value, scarcity, and story, everything a serious collector dreams of. Section 1. The history behind the 1995 5-pence coin. Let's start with the basics. The 5-pence coin has been part of British coinage since 1968, introduced during the country's switch to decimalisation. But in 1990, a major redesign happened. The size of the 5p coin was reduced to make it more practical and cost-efficient. By 1995, the newly sized 5p coin had been in circulation for 5 years. It featured the iconic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael McLoof, along with a crowned thistle on the reverse, a nod to Scotland's national emblem. Section 2. The era that created a six-figure coin. Most 1995 5p coins are ordinary, but a select few were minted with critical errors that transformed them into ultra-rare collector's items. So what kind of error are we talking about? Wrong planchet errors. In a few known cases, the 5p design was struck on blanks meant for other denominations, resulting in incorrect weight, color, or metal composition. Misstrikes. These coins might be off-center, double-struck, or partially unstruck, leaving blank or distorted areas. Die rotation errors, where the obverse and reverse don't align when flipped, a clear indicator of a minting anomaly. Clipped planchets, coins where part of the blank was missing, resulting in a crescent-shaped bite from the edge. What makes these particular errors valuable isn't just the mistake itself, it's the timing. Section 3. The value, why this coin can be worth $118,000. Now let's talk money, the part you've been waiting for. A standard 1995 5p coin in excellent condition may be worth $1 to $5. But a genuine, confirmed mint error from that year? That's a different story. White heavy checkmark certified examples of rare 1995 errors have sold at auction or through private deals for between $55,000 and $84,000, depending on condition, error type, and rarity. White heavy checkmark. In some high-profile collector circles, it's rumored that one example sold for over $118,000, yes, a tiny coin worth more than a luxury vehicle or a small home. That kind of value isn't based on metal content, it's driven by numismatic rarity, demand from elite collectors, historical importance, visual uniqueness. This isn't just about money. It's about owning a true one-in-a-million piece of history. Section 4. How to spot a rare 1995 era 5p coin. Want to know if you've got one of these rare gems hiding in your old change jar? Here's a checklist to help you spot the treasure. Check the date. It must clearly say 1995. Look closely at the edges. Clipped or misaligned rims are strong error indicators. Flip the coin. If Queen Elizabeth's head and the thistle don't align perfectly when flipped top to bottom, it could be a die rotation error. Check the weight. The correct weight should be 3.25 grams. Anything lighter or heavier could mean it was struck on the wrong planchet. Inspect for doubling, double images on letters, or the portrait mean a double strike, which is highly valuable. Don't clean the coin. This is crucial. Cleaning lowers the value significantly. Keep it in its found condition and get it authenticated. Section 5. Why collectors go crazy for this coin. You might wonder, why would someone pay over $100,000 for a 5p coin? It's simple. Scarcity plus story plus status. This coin represents a flaw in a near-flawless minting era. It ties into Queen Elizabeth II's legacy, a monarch whose image shaped generations of currency. And for collectors, owning a coin this rare means holding something no one else can easily find. It's bragging rights. It's historical. It's timeless. Section 1. Background, the 1991 5p coin and why it matters. To understand why this coin is so valuable, let's travel back to 1991. This was the second year after the UK introduced the smaller version of the 5p coin. In 1990, the Royal Mint reduced the size and weight of the 5p to improve portability and reduce production costs. The new, smaller 5p coin featured a crowned thistle on the reverse, symbolizing Scotland, and the third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael McLoof. By 1991, millions of these coins were in production, but a handful were different. They were never meant to exist, and yet, a few managed to escape into the wild. These are the error coins. The ones that today are selling for tens of thousands, even over $120,000, if verified and preserved. Section 2. The minting error that made headlines. Minting coins is a precise, high-speed industrial process. But sometimes, a tiny mistake creates something extraordinary. The rare 1991 era 5 pence coins fall into that category. These aren't just scratched or worn coins, these are genuine minting anomalies, and they are incredibly valuable because of small blue diamond wrong planchet errors. This is when a 5 pence design is struck onto a blank meant for a different coin, either smaller, larger, or even foreign. Small blue diamond off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned, cutting off parts of the queen's face, letters, or the thistle. Small blue diamond double strikes, the coin is struck twice in slightly different positions, creating a ghostly effect. Small blue diamond die rotation, the obverse and reverse sides are misaligned when flipped. Small blue diamond clip planchets, the blank wasn't fully punched, and part of the coin is missing, creating a curved or jagged edge. Section 3, shocking values, up to $120,000 for one coin. Now let's talk about the part you came for, the money. In the world of numismatics, that's coin collecting, by the way. Error coins are incredibly popular, especially when they're tied to major figures like Queen Elizabeth II. White heavy checkmark common 1991 5 pence coins in uncirculated condition. Worth a couple of dollars, maybe $5 or $10 to the right buyer. White heavy checkmark but a confirmed 1991 mint error coin. A clipped planchet or off-center error can easily fetch $57,000 or more. A double strike or wrong planchet coin might go for $85,000, depending on condition and certification. And a unique, high-grade specimen, especially if it features multiple error types or has an authenticated provenance, could top $120,000 at private auctions. Left-pointing magnifying glass, Section 4, how to identify a 1991 era 5 pence coin. Ready to check your collection? Here's a checklist that could lead you to a six-figure find. Right-pointing magnifying glass 5 steps to identify a valuable 1991 era coin. Confirm the date. Look for the year 1991 on the obverse side, just under Queen Elizabeth II's portrait. Inspect for errors. Use a magnifying glass or jeweller's loupe. Check for double outlines on the Queen's face or lettering, letters that are cut off or misaligned, off-center designs, jagged or missing edges. Weigh the coin. A standard 1991 5p coin should weigh 3.25 grams. If it's off by even 0.2 g, it might be struck on the wrong planchet. Don't clean it. Cleaning a coin, especially an error coin, destroys its value. Leave it untouched. Books, Section 5, The Legacy of Queen Elizabeth II on coins. Why is there so much interest in this coin, besides the error? Because it features one of the most iconic portraits of Queen Elizabeth II, used on millions of coins throughout the Commonwealth. Collectors aren't just buying metal, they're buying a piece of history, a piece of a queen's long reign, and in this case, a fluke of fate that makes the coin a one-of-a-kind treasure. As time goes on, these coins become even more valuable, especially since Queen Elizabeth II has now passed, marking the end of an era. Section 1, The History of the 1995 pence coin. To understand why this coin is so important, we need to rewind to 1990, a landmark year in British coinage. This was the year the Royal Mint redesigned the 5 pence coin, making it smaller and lighter to reduce costs and improve circulation. The older large 5p coins introduced in 1968 were officially withdrawn, and a brand new, reduced-size version entered the scene. Weight, 3.25 grams. Diameter, 18.00 millimeters. Metal, Q-Pro nickel. Obverse design, the famous third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, by Raphael McLoof. Reverse, a crowned thistle, representing Scotland, a design by Christopher Ironside. Millions of these coins were produced. They became part of everyday life. But in that same year, a few very special mistakes slipped through the cracks. Section 2, The Error That Turned Change into Treasure. So what happened? The 1990 release marked a major transition in minting. Anytime there's a change in design, size, or die, the chance of error increases. And a few 1995 pence coins were minted with extremely rare and valuable errors that should never have reached the public. These include small blue diamond wrong planchet error, coin struck on the wrong metal blank. For example, a 5p design struck on a 1p or foreign coin blank. These errors result in unusual colors, weights, or diameters. Small blue diamond double strike error. The coin is struck more than once, creating a shadowed or ghost image of the queen or the text. Small blue diamond off-center strikes. The entire design is shifted off-center, sometimes cutting off the queen's head or the lettering. Small blue diamond clipped planchets. The metal blank wasn't perfectly punched, resulting in a bite or crescent-shaped chunk missing. Section 3. Value. How this coin can fetch $150,000. So how much is this tiny coin really worth? Let's break it down. White heavy checkmark standard 1995 pence coins in uncirculated condition might fetch $1 to $5. White heavy checkmark but a certified mint error, such as a double strike or wrong planchette coin, can command $59,000 to $99,000. White heavy checkmark and in rare cases, a verified unique specimen, with multiple errors or perfect condition, can sell for over $150,000, especially if it's certified by trusted grading services like NGC or PCGS. In fact, high-end collectors and investors are always on the lookout for coins that are first-year issues, like the 1995 P. Featuring royal iconography, Queen Elizabeth II. With serious minting anomalies. And this coin? Checks every box. Left-pointing magnifying glass, Section 4, How to identify a rare 1990-era 5 pence coin. Here's the exciting part, you might already have one. Let's go over what to look for. Grab a magnifying glass or your phone camera with macro mode and follow this inspection checklist. White heavy checkmark. Confirm the date. It should say 1990 on the obverse, beneath Queen Elizabeth II's portrait. White heavy checkmark. Check for off-center strikes. Look closely. Is the portrait misaligned? Is the edge of the coin uneven? White heavy checkmark. Look for doubling. Examine the letters to Elizabeth II or DG Reg FD. Do you see ghosted or overlapping images? White heavy checkmark. Weigh it. A standard 1995 P coin weighs exactly 3.25 grams. If yours is significantly lighter or heavier, it might be a wrong planchette. White heavy checkmark. Feel the edges. Is the coin missing a piece? A clipped planchette error could look like a bite was taken out of the edge. Books is Section 5. Why this coin matters to collectors. The 1990 Elizabeth II era 5 pence coin isn't just rare, it represents a pivotal moment in UK currency history. A new coin design. A smaller, sleeker size. The same monarch's portrait, marking continuity in a period of change. Add in the fact that it's an error coin, and you've got a numismatic perfect storm. That's why collectors are willing to spend small fortunes on it. Combine scarcity, a royal figure, and a first-year strike, and you get a coin that transcends face value and becomes a collectible legacy.